What is up? Coming to you live, not from the cathouse, but now coming to you from the jungle. Tiger's jungle. I see you, Mama Bear. My wife is being hilarious in the background. We are not in the cathouse. We are now, to bring back an old trope from the first year of the show, we are now in a secret location. I've been told, do not give away our location. We were somewhere in Orange County. Close friends will know. Strangers will not. It's time for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast. Well, it took me a whole 40 seconds to get to that just because I'm futzing about. Yes, we are no longer in Montebello. We are somewhere in the OC. I am much closer to my work, and which conversely means I am much closer to my son when I am at work. I am very close to my son. I'm very close to my wife. They're right nearby, and it's nice. It's a nice stress relief to know that if I need to get to my boy, my little tiger, I'm only a few minutes away instead of being 45 minutes away as I was before. So it's a big change. And speaking of big changes, if you were around for last week's episode, you heard my political tirade. I know, and in the past, in the first couple years of the show, I swore I was not going to talk about politics. I wanted this show to be an escape, but you know what? We can't escape reality. We can't stay away from what's happening in the world, and after enduring 4 straight Tuesdays, we got an election day. that is probably the trippiest part for me. Was this is a deep video game reference depending on your point of view, but it was like Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, because that weird game keeps resetting the same 3 days. It's like the Groundhog Day. It felt like, you know what, that's maybe a better reference. We were all Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. I saw that meme as well. It was like, we wake up, well, it's election day. Wake up on Wednesday, it's Tuesday again. Wake up on Thursday, still Tuesday. We still don't know. Friday, still Tuesday. We don't know who won. And then, thankfully, roughly between 8:45 and 9 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday morning, the mail-in votes, enough mail-in votes were tabulated, and we're going to have a new president come January 20th on Inauguration Day, provided the Orange Cheeto doesn't try to do some crazy nonsense like try to squat in the White House behind the walls he put up, and him and his misbegotten children try to fight off the Secret Service, who oh, we don't work for you anymore. Well, as of the 20th, I believe a Biden campaign person said, the Secret Service is more than prepared to remove any trespassers from the White House. It was, Saturday was night. It was for those on the side of good, on the side of the light, so to speak. We don't tolerate any weird wacko conspiracy theories here on this show. And I'm sure when this gets reposted eventually on YouTube, I'm going to get some, because the last time we talked politics on here, I had some bots, right-wing whack jobs, more likely bots, negatively commenting on the YouTube video, telling me about Pizzagate and all kinds of nonsense, and how BLM is a Marxist organization. So I'm sure we'll attract all those wonderful type of people with this video, no matter where it gets posted. But you know what? Fuck them. We don't care about them. It's over. Bye, Dan. The memes this past week. You know what? Something else that delighted me was during the especially near the end of the Obama administration. I think the final year of the Obama administration, 2016. I think that was when the Joe Biden memes were all over the place. Where if you're not aware, there were a significant number of Biden memes that portrayed him as kind of this juvenile that Barack was having to freaking supervise. And they're some of the funniest memes I'm seeing. It's such a ridiculous thing. Look, Barack, I'm shooting him. It would take funny still photos of Biden just being ridiculous. I mean, apparently he's just a ridiculous old man who's going to be in charge for a while. So I know some of my progressive liberal friends are not necessarily happy, but you know what? It's still better than fucking Orange Hitler. So, I mean, people keep talking about, oh, it's socialist, socialist. We had a Nazi in the White House for the last 4 years, yo. It's water. If this was vodka, I'd be saying much more ridiculous things. But yeah, things. This past Saturday, I'm glad that the majority of my social media, some people may call it an echo chamber, but you know what? I like to think I run with sane people, people who are of good character, of solid judges of character, who are not suspect to conspiracy theories and such. I think I do have a few friends who are at least on Facebook. They're a little bit right-wingish. I don't want to say they're MAGA, but they're a little bit on the they tend to skew right. But some of I have a few fair-minded Republican friends who are very horrified at everything that's been going on for the last 4 years, and I think they were overjoyed. I mean, you have to know that something was up when once it's announced that Trump lost. You literally had the end of Return of the Jedi happening around the world. There were celebrations going on. It showed not just in America, but other countries. I think it was a great meme. I forgot which Saturday, late night guy was like, when Paris is ringing the bells for you, that means you were bad. For ringing the bells for your loss, that means you were bad. They're not going to celebrate other things in other countries. It was the toppling of Emperor Palpatine here. This is that's what happened over the weekend. There's a lot more BS we got to go through. There's a lot of people who are afraid that Biden's going to tax us to death. Spoiler alert: the government's going to tax us to death no matter who's in the White House. I mean, to paraphrase comic book Transmetropolitan. The presidency, or at least the presidential election, you're merely deciding the face of who is fucking you next. And you know what? I'd much rather it be Biden than Trump. It's just chaos. Yep, Ryan Tanaka. The Return of the Jedi special edition music was going through my head all day. Yeah, it's like you're like setting up fireworks. We're cooking stormtroopers. We're playing drums on stormtrooper helmets, and as a really good episode a few years ago, like we talked about, where were those stormtroopers? Did the Ewoks eat them? That's what was happening. Ewoks were eating stormtroopers. People who believe in good, and believe in the rights of gay people, believe in the rights of black people, believe in the rights of all colored people, believe in the rights of all oppressed people. Everyone was happy for we can be happy for a day. There's still a fight. Cheeto Hitler was already he fired somebody this morning apparently. One of my favorite little rumors I saw was that the White House stinks of fast food right now because apparently old Cheeto that's his comfort food. And White House staffers have to literally light candles because it just reeks. I mean, I don't know what fast food he's getting. I mean, I don't know what's local to the D.C. area that's so bad it's going to stink up the joint. I mean, as far as I can recall, whenever we have, like In-N-Out here, I mean, I know that's another divisive topic, people who love In-N-Out and people who hate In-N-Out. I'd like to think In-N-Out is a pleasant smell. I mean, maybe that's just me because I grew up with In-N-Out. I mean, maybe McDonald's is not a good smell. Maybe a Burger King. I haven't had Burger King in a long while. I don't know. Maybe that smell goes bad real quick. What else? I don't know. There's what's the East Coast big chain? Five Guys? Does Five Guys start to stink? I haven't had a Five Guys burger in about 6 years. I don't know, but apparently that's what's going on inside, according to White House staffers who prefer to remain anonymous. That the White House reeks of desperation and fast food. Pure chaos going on over there. And you know what? We especially in this house, it was nice to have some good news because we were busy all weekend getting our butts kicked. We're still getting our butts kicked. I don't know how long I'm going to go today. I'm going to warn you guys, today's going to be a short episode we still gotta unpack a lot of stuff. I picked the most plain wall behind me. You can't see the onslaught of boxes that we have to unpack, and the adorable baby that's playing around near them. It's been a weekend for us, but it was nice to start the weekend with the abject defeat of fascism in our country. I'm sure all the Trump flags will continue to fly, much like conservative flag or Confederate flags, both of which are things that lost in 4 years. You know, because that's how long the Civil War lasted, about 4 years, and the Confederacy lost. And then, Trump's administration lasted 4 years, and they lost. So, hey, I guess they can run those flags side by side because they all have the exact same meaning. People who can't let go of the fact that they're losers.
Did you see Saturday Night Live?
Did I see Saturday Night Live? Yes, I did. Well, you know what? Honestly, what was it? All I remember from Saturday Night Live, the beginning. What?
Jim Carrey's like.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My wife brings up something that I talked about today at work when it was like Jim Carrey. You know, he's been playing Joe Biden in all the recent episodes of SNL, and he broke out Ace Ventura for the momentous occasion. I'm sure the SNL writers were sweating it out all week because like they didn't know if they'd be able to make skits making fun of Trump losing, but thankfully Saturday morning delivered them that, and I'm sure it was a weird episode of SNL. I've been meaning to talk to you about this, wife.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, he was the host, and he did his usual Dave Chappelle thing, but I don't know if you felt it when we were watching his monologue, but it went long.
It did.
Yeah.
And he didn't even like mention the band.
He didn't even mention the band. He didn't mention the Foo Fighters was there.
No, he was.
But he went long. He basically did a stand-up set.
He did. He even said it out loud. He said, "I was just trying to bit."
I was trying to bit. He's doing a full stand-up set. That derailed the entire episode.
Really?
Yeah, because I felt it was weird because I remember we were still packing while the episode was going on. Like we were watching, you know, and then like we put Tiger to bed in the middle of it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna miss a couple skits. But then I realized, I'm like, oh, I feel like I didn't miss that many skits because, yeah, a bunch of stuff was cut for time. Right. Because he went so long in the beginning, he threw off the entire show.
Oh, shit.
Like, something that I kind of noticed happened, but I didn't, like, when I was reading reviews of the SNL episode, as I want to do every Sunday and Monday.
Right.
Yeah, the show was so off-kilter. They came back from commercial, and you heard the band vamp for like a good like minute or two, and they went back to commercial. They didn't go, you know, but band plays for a little bit, you know, the Saturday Night Live band plays, and then they go into a skit, or like it's just a short, you know. Oh, it was like they vamped for like a couple minutes, and went back to a fresh set of commercials.
Like he said, "Hey, honey, the guy from the grocery store's on TV." Nah. The guy from
TV is in your grocery store. That was such a great line. Dave was on one. Yeah.
And when's the last time he was?
He was on the day, the week, 4 years ago, the week that Trump had won.
So, guys.
Yeah, it's funny. He actually ragged on himself a little bit. He's like, you know, whoa, Tiger's throwing things around. He's our little Hulk. Yeah, because like 4 years ago, he's like, oh, let's just give him a chance. I'm like, whoops. He had to own up to that one. Dave had to own up to that one. That was a bit of a mistake, but you know, everybody makes mistakes, and Dave was trying to, you know, be a unifier. I'm sure he knew it was gonna be a divisive time, but then 4 years later, he had to take a few mea culpas, and then
maybe that's why he was going so long.
Yeah.
He was like, I gotta say my piece, sort of.
And then he had to drop in as many. I don't think NBC had that many N-words ever.
He said some other, besides the N-word, he said another word. He kind of looked off to the side and was like,
I forget. Yeah, there was something else he said, but I was so focused. I'm like, and even during the skits that he was doing, he was just N-bombing.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, NBC must have been like, well, I guess the ratings will be good. I don't know about the FCC fines, but hey.
Right.
Maybe Dave can pay him with some of that Netflix money.
That he hasn't been paid.
he hasn't been paid. Well, he got paid for the stand-up specials, but apparently that was another like little sly joke that Dave made about how his old TV show is on Netflix and HBO Go, but he's not seen a single cent of that.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably because of whatever horrible deal he signed with Viacom way back when 2004, 2005 to get the show up and running, and then they were going to pay him a ridiculous amount of money to keep going, and he said no. Like, y'all laughing at me, you're not laughing with me. You guys are enjoying me saying the N-word a little too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I was very excited, and it was a very interesting episode. Yeah, that his whole stand-up was very entertaining. And then the skit he did right after, where they were making fun of all the overly PC companies getting rid of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben. And then, Dave just making an entire world break by, like, look at Pete Davidson's lips. He has the biggest lips. Look at that. Just made everybody break. Poor Pete Davidson had to spit out his Dracula teeth. That was the only skit he was in. And he broke and spit out his teeth. Because Dave got him. I think Dave did, like, another, they made fun of they used old OJ chase footage to mock up Trump running from the White House. With a fake Donald Trump Jr. on the phone. It's like, you need to reverse the results of the election. I'll pull over. He's got a gun to his head. Yeah, I guess they did like 3 newscasts. They were just, poor SNL was just like out of sorts. They got Weekend Update out. They got like a handful of other skits. They got their pre-tape in. But it was a very Trump-heavy, I guess, what's his face? Alec Baldwin got to play himself off playing Rocket Man on a piano. I don't know if it'll be the last time we'll see him as Trump, because heaven knows what the crazy man's going to do. He's still technically president. He's a lame duck president for the next 2 months. Heaven knows what chaos is in store for us over the next 60 days. But we can at least feel good that he's a Luther. And hey, you know it's bad. You know it's bad for him when Fox News is calling him out. I mean, it's not that they're not doing the right thing. They just know that there's nothing to gain for them if they keep backing this horse. I think that they realize, even Fox News is like, nah, this ain't going well. we need to back off. We need to call him out now. And so now, 4 years later, now they're calling him out. I don't know if they're puppet talking head fools are going to call him out, but at least their actual newscast like, nope, Mr. Trump is making some baseless accusations. Like, I expect this from CNN, not from Fox News. This is highly unusual. I'm sure he was pissed like Saturday morning. I really thought Fox News was not going to call the election for him. I thought everybody else. 8:45 on, everyone's calling the election. The Associated Press, CNN, friggin' MSNBC, whatever. The poor guy from MSNBC who got himself famous because he literally didn't leave his board. Steve Karnacki. That guy got himself internet famous for not leaving his big board at all. And he was a very enthusiastic big board guy. I'm sure he earned himself like 1 million Twitter follows for all of his ridiculousness. And the wife and I were looking up his stuff because we keep seeing him get referenced. And this guy, like, live on the air, he like accurately predicted how many votes were going to go to one of the districts, like to the number, to the single digit. He said, all right, he was like doing the math. If they're getting this much, then this number should change to this in a second. Boom, and it changed right as he was finishing his math. It was he
flipped his lid.
He's like, whoa, we got it. It was crazy. This whole weekend, last week. Well, last week felt like forever. Rolando here is telling us that Fox hosts were apparently told not to call Biden president-elect. Wow. Okay. See, like I said, they may be calling out Trump, but they still got to be Fox News. They can't help themselves. They still gotta be who they are. They still have to be monsters. It's great because I was listening to a podcast. This is a related story here. I was listening to a podcast with on WTF, Mark Maron. He was interviewing Jay Roach. Unless you're like a super duper movie file, Jay Roach he's a movie director. He's probably best known for directing the Austin Powers movies and the Meet the Parents trilogy. But I guess lately a lot of his movies have been more political in nature. And I didn't know that the movie that come out last year, Bombshell, the one I was about Fox News. Like, I didn't know that he was the director. I was quite surprised because like I said, I just associated him with doing all that fun Mike Myers stuff. He directed all the Austin Powers and a few other of Mike Myers' funny movies, and then did all those Ben Stiller Meet the Parents films. So then, but I didn't realize that that whole Bombshell movie was directed by him. And that motivated me. I got to see if I can find if that's on one of the streaming services. I definitely want to check it out after the way they were talking about it. Charlize Theron, being the chameleon that she is, she made herself look through makeup and prosthetics. She looked exactly like Megyn Kelly, and all that stuff. And they just think, the abrasive nature of Fox News, where it literally took this kind of stuff to get rid of. That monster who's in charge, or Roger Ailes, it's insane. Good old fake news, Fox News. They're the original fake news. See, if Sam Zia was here, he'd be so happy because we'd be talking politics, and he would be jumping in and spitting all sorts of venom towards evil Republicans right now. If good old executive producer Sam Zia was around right now. Honestly, I always stayed away from talking politics because I knew it was an easy subject for Sam to get carried away with. If you ever watched old classic episodes of the show, when Sam took took the reins from the show from me, it turned into utter chaos. It'd be fun sometimes, but other times you just see the look in my face. I'd look over at Pete and be like, "Oh fuck, I lost control of the show today. This show's gone. We can't put that genie back in the bottle. Let's just finish the show and be done with it." I'm sure Sam, if he pops in, I don't know if he's busy working the Monday Night Football game for good old Extra Sports 570 or not, but he's out there. Speaking of people who've worked on the show, today is episode 199, and next week is episode 200. I originally had wanted to try to do something fun and crazy, try to get a bunch of different, anyone who's ever worked on the show, and try to get them all on Skype at the same time, or try to do that. But I realize I'm still busy moving in. That's not going to happen. Well, I'll try to do something fun for episode 200, but it just might be another regular episode, provided we're still not inundated with unpacking our lives into this house, which is a Herculean task. My God, moving, it's one of the things I like least in this world. I haven't moved as much as my wife has. My wife has moved quite a bit. That's why she was incredibly organized for this move, where I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because I haven't had to move that much in my life. I only have a handful of moves in my pocket. Where my wife had a schedule. She had a checklist and a game plan up on the wall, and I was like, how lucky am I? I got a coach. All right, you're the coach. I'm your meathead. Tell me what to move and when to move it and where to move it. And I was super duper meathead yesterday. I was up. Oh my Lord! So we were supposed to move on Saturday, and then the weather said, "Nah, y'all ain't gonna do that." We weren't about to be moving all of our stuff in the rain because it was supposed to rain all day. And it rained half the day, but by the time it was done, it was too late. I'm sorry. I am exhausted, if you can't tell. I still went to work today. Normal people would take the day off after a crazy thing that we did yesterday, but this apartment and the bills are not going to pay for themselves. So we had to do all of our moving. I had to move the U-Haul reservation to yesterday, and we did it yesterday. But yeah, the friggin' whoever's in charge of the wind decided, let's put all of it on November 8th. All the wind. The place we moved into, that has a bunch of awesome plants. I was getting hit in the head with like seeds and pellets from these trees. It felt like someone was like, it was so windy. It felt like someone was literally throwing them or shooting them at me out of a BB gun. It was so windy yesterday. So we got a brand new couch from IKEA. Don't worry, there's a funny point to this story. In case you're getting concerned that there's gonna be a dumb story. So we got a couch from IKEA. It's ridiculously large. There's 3 giant boxes. We got 2 of the big boxes in here. The other one was really tall. So I'm like, let's just unpack it in the truck. We'll just bring up the pieces. And so there was a big bag. It was so windy yesterday. I was getting rid of the cardboard, and this giant bag that held like an 8-foot piece of this bag disappeared. The wind took it. I was like, oh, okay, the bag fell behind me. I'll come back for it. I'll just, let me take this cardboard to the dumpster, and I'll come back around and grab that bag. I'm sure it'll be on the ground. No, I came back a few minutes later. It was gone. I don't know where it went. I looked everywhere. I don't know if it went into the sky. Yeah, Maui, demigod, and the wind and the sea.
I was going to say that.
Yep, Ryan. Apparently, Ryan, you and my wife were on the same.
Yay,
on the same wavelength. Yeah, Maui blew up the wind. This giant bag that held an 8-foot piece of couch, gone. I don't know if it blew up onto another neighboring apartment. I don't know if it went into the street. I don't know what car it took. I looked underneath all the cars in the area. It was gone. It literally vanished. I felt like I was taking crazy pills or I was in some sort of weird reality show. It fell behind me. I'm like, I'll get it after. I came back, gonzo. Vanished. I don't know if it was it disintegrated in the power of the wind. It just weird, insane. I don't know any of the people around here, so I wasn't gonna be like, hey, excuse me, did a giant bag blow into your car and/or house? Did one of your children get overtaken by a bag and fly off into the sky? I apologize. It was insane. Insane, I tell you. Well, I don't know how this bag disappeared. One less thing for me to throw away, but I felt a little guilty. I'm like, we lived near a major street here somewhere in Orange County, and I'm like, if it went into the street, it might have gotten to someone's grill. I don't know. It might have gone to the sky and taken out a bird. Who knows? It was just gone. I was like, well, one less thing for me to carry. I carried all the things yesterday. Me and my brother-in-law, God bless him, Pablo. He and I were the 2-man wrecking crew during the unload here. And then once we were done with that, it's like I'd get rid of the U-Haul and then come back here and go get more stuff from the house. Come back. We had to go get the baby because the baby wasn't here when we were doing the moving. We had to go get the baby. Grandma was taking care of the baby. We had to go get the baby. Come back here. I'm like, all right, I am dead tired. My body is exhausted. But I got to make the beds. The little dude needs his bed. We need our bed. We're going to sleep here tonight. I was a zombie last night. I was zombified. I was The Walking Dead. My wife was just like, are you sure? I'm like, we need to make the beds. Baby need bed. We need bed. There was a point I'd reassembled our bed. I reassembled Tiger's little bed. And I sat on the bed and I was holding my phone. I wasn't even looking at it. I was just holding my phone. I'm like, oh, rest time. And then I fell asleep sitting up. To the point where my wife came, are you okay? And I'm like, oh. I looked over. I was asleep. I'm holding my phone. Sitting on the bed, I was like, gone. I hope we have a good long time before we got to move again.
Oh my God, yes.
Because, man, that was an effort. And just like when I moved out of Pasadena and moved to Montebello, I'm like, I gotta get rid of a lot of this stuff. I didn't get rid of enough stuff. I gotta get rid of more stuff. I feel like I think that's the call of every person whenever you move. You're like, why do I have all this stuff? I gotta get rid of the stuff. And I got rid of some stuff, but not nearly enough. I know, like this past summer, I sold a bunch of toys, but not nearly enough. I gotta sell more. Some more. Gotta get rid of more things. I got rid of a bunch of precious DC Universe toys. I guess they were precious when I was younger, but now that I have an actual little man, like ironically, I did keep some of them, but to eventually maybe pass on to my young dude if he wants to play with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. I still got those, but I sold off a bunch of other ones. Yeah, something else that happened this past weekend. Yeah. We're going to wrap up here, but as we get older, I found that my wife and I on Saturday we were walking through Home Depot because when you're moving, you gotta get the stuff. You have to go get the things. We have to buy. Hey, we're moving to a new place. We need to buy. I gotta get a shower head. We gotta figure out the trash can situation. I never thought I would be that adult where we're walking through Home Depot, and when I was a child, my parents would remodel the house a lot when I was a young man, and I was always bored out of my mind going to Home Depot.
Bored out of your gourd.
Bored out of my gourd. Thank you, wife. I was always bored, and going to Home Depot, going to here. Let's do some age checks here. Going to Builders Emporium, going to Home Base. I'm trying to think of other old, gone and forgotten building places. I remember I always liked Home Base because I felt like they had a lot more technology. Because even as a child, I was fascinated with the technological side of things. And I'm like, ooh, they got all kinds of cool electronic tools. Vroom. But my parents were always in the damn paint section and the wood section. Boring as hell. But now, fast forward to me, 41 years old. We were excitedly going through let's check out the different shower heads we can get. We have to check the baby security section. Ooh, look at all these cabinets. And I like in the middle of this, I looked at Rosa and I go, oh my God, I'm such an adult. I have a tape measure in my pocket, ready to measure. Will this thing fit in our house? We go to Best Buy and True Value. Thank you, Warren. That's another great one. True Value Hardware. Yeah. Ace was the place for the helpful Hartford folk. Orchard Supply and Hardware. That's another one that's going by the wayside. I don't know, that True Value triggered a bunch of memories right there. But yeah, I was carrying tape measure. We went to Best Buy, and you know what section I did not go to? I did not go to the DVDs. I did not go to the video games. I went to the Pacific Sales because we were picking out a new fridge.
Nice fridge.
And I was like, okay, let me get my tape measure out. I'm gonna make sure it fits in. What's the cubic feet? I'm like, who is this person? Who have I become? See, you get yourself a wife, you get yourself a family, and all of a sudden you gotta grow up real quick.
You start carrying measuring tapes.
You start carrying measuring tape. I was carrying around. It's right there.
Not
Put it
for
on camera.
ridiculous penis reasons.
And not for, to quote Rosa right now, and not for ridiculous penis reasons. I was carrying around a measuring tape. It's this one right here in my pocket. Not for work, but for, you know what? I need this because we have to measure all this crap because we got to make sure it fits in our new place. I feel like, who have I become? It's like one of those progressive car insurance commercials. It's like, oh, you're going to become your dad. Well, no, my dad was never like the handsy guy, or the, I guess if you know well enough, he is a handsy guy. Hey-o!
The theme of the show really is
changes. Time to face the DMCA for singing a song. Then let's see if that gets us, that gets me a flag on YouTube just for those 5 seconds of bad karaoke. Yeah, changes. We're having change in the country, but it's also changing your life.
Who was it band saying, the change in the weather, we can
It sounds vaguely familiar, but
Tears for Fears?
You got me on that one. You know, that's another thing. As I've gotten older, I am readily able to admit when I don't know something. It's okay to not know. I don't know.
I don't know. Ask your mother.
I don't know. Ask your mother. Is that what happens? Am I going to do that to you and Tiger? Tiger's going to ask me a question, and instead of like giving him an answer, instead of busting out my phone and be like, I'll be like, go ask your mother.
Your encyclopedia brain.
That's as I'm getting older, my encyclopedia brain is failing me. Because you know, when we grew up in the era before the internet, that's when you had to memorize everything. When I worked at the comic book store, I had to memorize all the first appearances, all the key issues. I knew all that. You know, I dedicated parts of my brain that probably should have been used for academia, or probably something other effective use, to memorize. I feel like we did this bit a few years ago, but like the only some of the stuff I can only remember, like Uncanny 266 first appearance Gambit. There you go. The one everybody, giant sized X-Men. That's first appearance Colossus, first appearance Wolverine. No, not first appearance Wolverine. That was Hulk 181. No, see, look, it all changes together. I haven't set foot in a comic shop since the pandemic, but I still got all this stuff. What, first Storm, first Nightcrawler, first Colossus, and Thunderbird. I am a crazy person. See, some of that stuff I used to have to I committed all that to memory. See, all that stuff right there is in that which part of the brain is the hard drive that remembers all these things. But ask me what I did 2 weeks ago, and I'd be like, I have no idea. I don't know what I did. Well, technically, 2 weeks ago, we put all of our stuff from one storage in Montebello to another storage somewhere in Orange County. That's what I did 2 weeks ago. Aha. But what did I do at work today? Worked. I don't know. My brain, I feel like it's going. Certain things I still have in my head. You put on you put on Warren G and Nate Dogg's Regulate, I'll give you every word for word, in line, correctly. But you ask me to tell you the names of the presidents before Reagan, or maybe before Nixon, I'm sorry, there's some Van Buren guy somewhere in there. FDR, there's another Roosevelt, Teddy, who knows? All this college stuff, I couldn't tell you any of it. I didn't care. I was too busy doing other stuff, reading comic books and playing video games. Now,
using your measuring.
Now as an old man, I'm like using my measuring tape, trying to keep in mind, like, well, what's the correct cubic feet that we need for a refrigerator? Once we build this couch, will we be able to leave this place with it, or we're just going to leave it here and move on? I don't know. And Tiger's back there, he's giving me the buzzer. Yeah, our current executive producer, Tiger Ray Limon, is giving me the little nudge. He's telling me that, Daddy, you're rambling. You're going off and meandering. My brain is bonzo gonzo. Thank you thank you guys for coming on in and checking in on us. Episode 200 next week. Roughly, 4 years in the making almost. We're hitting episode 200. We're gonna hit our 2-year anniversary, or no, 2-year anniversary, 200, or the 4-year anniversary of the show. And this show is just as old as Sam Zia's little boy, which means little JoJo Zia is gonna turn 4 years old soon. So it's very exciting. And Ryan says, "You're welcome, Maui." Thank you.
Perfect ending.
Perfect. That is perfect, Ryan. I appreciate. You stop in very frequently. You are one of our most dedicated fans. I know Daniel Wong will probably be running in every minute now. Did I miss the show? But he still tries to get in whenever he can. I know Warren, you pop in very often. I know Mars, you're popping in more frequently. Anthony Toy, thank you for coming on in. Rolando, you're a frequent contributor on the show. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. I haven't even done any gaming video. I did a couple of gaming videos here on Facebook, but I haven't transferred them to YouTube because moving. There's no time. I thought like, okay, cool, I can carve out 10 minutes to make a video, but it's more than just the 10 minutes. It's the editing. It's taking it to YouTube and needing the Wi-Fi's and blah 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 blahs. Who knows? My brain's not. My brain's going. That Mario one is awesome. Yeah, the Mario videos. I really enjoy playing that Mario 35. It's so fun. Yeah, well, that Mario 35, or which one, or the Sunshine one? I don't know if you're talking about Sunshine. No, I just realized I've only been playing Mario games. So are you talking about Sunshine, Ryan? Or are you talking about the Mario 35? Because that Mario 35 is on Switch. The only thing you need to buy is the Nintendo Online service, and that's included with it because it's only going to be around. That Super Mario 35. If you have a Switch already, all you need to do is have that Nintendo Online service. $20 a year. Here you go. I'm doing a commercial for people I used to work for. All you gotta do is that $20 a year, or if you have Amazon Prime, I think you can get some. Last time I checked, I got a free year of that Nintendo service through Amazon Prime. You sign up for that, and then once you have the Nintendo Online service, you get that Super Mario 35, and then they let you play a whole bunch of old NES games and let you play a whole bunch of Super NES games. Yes, Mr. Tiger, I know I'm trying to wrap up the show, but I'm doing a very important public service here, helping out our friend Ryan. I know, I did see the SNL skit about Mario's 35th anniversary. That was incredibly uncomfortable, and I didn't want to talk about it. That SNL skit was horrible. That was clearly a Kyle Mooney. Let's talk about balls being smashed skit and not talk about Mario. That was a horrifying skit. I had blocked that one out of my memory. It just kept going. Although the MVP of that skit was Keenan Thompson. Why do you keep? I specifically said I don't want to be after the ball crushing guy. But yeah, Super Mario 35, yeah, it's included with the Mario. How does Kamuni still have a job? I don't. He always gets the cut for time sketches. I don't know. He's a weird dude. He appeals to a demographic. I don't know. I think my wife falls into that demographic. She thinks Mooney's hilarious. I think Mooney's a local dude, as far as I know, because when they were doing those pandemic episodes, he was clearly like in Tarzana or the Valley. Kyle Mooney is a crazy person. Yeah, he's local, Mr. Mooney. Yeah, because my wife recognized the Chase Bank he was at during the pandemic episodes when they were having to film the episodes themselves. Yeah, but yeah, weird. But to wrap up, yeah, Ryan, yeah. Either check through if you have through your Amazon Prime. I think if you link it to something, your Amazon Prime gets you a year's worth. I don't know if they still do it. Just log into your Prime through the website and check out your Prime benefits. And I think one of them is like, oh, link your Twitch and link your this, and then you get a year's worth of Nintendo's whatever. You have to get your Nintendo ID. It was a whole rigmarole. That's why I didn't try looking for it again this year. I was like, here, $20. I don't want to spend an hour trying to figure this thing out again. Here, Nintendo, I'm going to PayPal you $20 and just give me my year of Nintendo service so I can play games online. I'm not really, that Super Mario 35 is an online game. It's awesome. I'm going to try to put up some more videos of it. It's hilarious. Of me playing, it's hilarious. I might try to do another one where I have Tiger like right here in my lap again, and see how much chaos he causes me. See how bad I play with my son interfering. Make sure follow us on Twitter at DreGP Podcast. I'm very active on Twitter now. I'm having so much fun on there. Follow us on Instagram. Less active on there. I only have so much social media water to put into all these tanks. I've been pouring more of it into the Twitter tank rather than Instagram. But yeah, check us out on Instagram. There's a lot of funny stuff there as well. At DreGP Podcast. YouTube will be updated. Hopefully tomorrow I'll put up a new video on YouTube. My statistics are drastically falling because I haven't been updating. YouTube / well, I don't have the until I get 100 followers, I can't get the custom URL. But so just search on YouTube for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast. My son is playing hockey over there with a bottle lid right now. And of course, you can always find us if you want to help us out. If you want to be awesome like Ryan, we have a Patreon. Please donate to our Patreon. We would really appreciate it. It's going to help me get Wi-Fi back because we lost our Wi-Fi. Because we moved over here and our awesome Wi-Fi that the wife set up over in Montebello does not transfer over to Orange County. Bah. So now we're going to need to get Wi-Fi again. Donate to our Patreon. Every dollar helps. Ryan is an awesome patron. Daniel Wong is an awesome patron. Is an awesome patron. And Art Solorio. Join them in supporting this endeavor so I can keep going for another 200 episodes. All right, and until so we can get to the point where Tiger is my co-host and like ask me ridiculous questions and I'm trying to answer them without swearing or doing something ridiculous. See, the show writes itself. Right now he's grunting and he needs me. The boy needs me. I gotta go put him in the bath because Daddy's strong. Tiger is big and Daddy's strong like bull, and so is Tiger. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week for episode 200. And, we'll see if I can get the Skype running. We'll see. I don't know. Join us for episode 200. I'm going to try to be on time next week. Because this week, cause we're still unpacking. I'm going to try to be on time next week for a nice full episode 200. Nice full hour of us having fun here on the internet. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.